833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at KMDlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to KMDlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting, either through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, be sure to check out our Patreon. Brand new Patreon. It's only been a couple of months, and we've got a lot of content up there, and I put up 8 hours of new content up there a month. Archives are always free. You can find us at Spreaker.com. I do a live show there Friday nights all by my lonesome, just talking to myself and talking to the air. You sign up for free. You get a email notification anytime I put up new content. We put up repeats every night. I play repeats every night. And as a chat room too as well. Our guest today is a super-duper insider with all the inside gossip on the Howard Stern show and the Whack Pack and all the characters over there, Howard and Robin and Gary. Her name is Monique from Radio Gunk. Her website is radiogunk.com. You can find her on Twitter as Radio Gunk. And she has a podcast that she puts out on radiogunk.com. You can find it at any of the podcast catchers out there, the podcast platforms. Just Google Radio Gunk and you're going to find her. Monique, are you there? So nice to meet you, Monique. Tell us about yourself before we get into Howard Stern. We want to hear about Monique. Who is Monique from Radio Gunk? My neighbor.
I am a Hell's Kitchen Manhattan girl through and through. And, I go south for the winters. I go north for the summers. And, life is good. No complaints at all. So that's...
Yeah, I was going to guess that you were from New York. Did you listen way back in WNBC or was it K-Rock?
I did not. So WNBC I was a little bit young for WNBC, but also it was AM radio, and I was in school, so it wasn't really something that you could really listen to. And then when he finally went to K-Rock, is when I kind of got a hold of it, and even still, we couldn't listen for like a solid 4 hours because you had to go to work or you had to go to school or whatever the case may be. And so, there's still some bits and still some clips and things that people will send me that I've never heard. I've never heard any of those pay-per-view specials or watched any of the pay-per-view specials. I've never really watched the E! Channel, although a lot of people tell me that's how they got into him when he wasn't as prolific a broadcaster as he became after going to K-Rock. But yeah, so it just started to kind of be this crazy thing where I wasn't really ever quite obsessed with him, but enough that you start to know way too much about the characters. And as you know, as he loves to say, radio is a habitual medium, so it just became habit. And now as the years go on, it's even less of a habit because of how much he's changed.
Yeah. How about the Channel 9 show? You were in New York for that.
So, yeah, I may have been in New York for that, but, your girl was very much the party girl.
Okay.
And, there's probably not a chance of me ever having stayed home to watch that. But somebody sent me the entire catalog of the Channel 9 shows, and I cannot wait to go through them all. I really can't. I mean, when he finally retires is when I'll have the leisure time of just going through all of that stuff and just bashing it and just, appreciating maybe the funny parts of it, but also like I can't believe that we listened to this and drank this Kool-Aid of who this man is.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on those old Channel 9 shows. Now, is Radio Gunk now, is this a full-time living for you?
So it's not really a living. I am no longer working in the garment center. I do just some freelance stuff there. But, it's something that we do for purely fun. I have a guy named Xavier who really runs the forum aspect of things, and I run the podcast portion of stuff. And, it's never really been a financial endeavor. And we've always said when it stops being fun, we'll stop doing it. I do a lot of photography on the side. I travel extensively, so yeah, it's just one of those fun things to do.
And what will we find on RadioGunk.com?
So I have these two portions of it. You were just talking about how you have a chat with the operaman.
Yeah.
The forum is really the mainstay of what happens on the website. So ostensibly it's supposed to be used for showcasing the podcast and a place for everything that we've ever done to reside at. But then it became more of a place where people wanted to chat about the shows and then chat about more than the shows. And forums are a very, very curious area of business. People come on pretty much every day. I mean, you get the stats. You get the stats of what people are doing, almost by the minute, and it will tell you the demographics and practically the psychographics of what people are there for, and who your customer is and their age is and stuff like that. And it's kind of crazy. But yeah, people come in and out all day long, and we strive to put new content up there, most of it having to do with pop culture, the mainstay of it being Howard Stern. But, because he does less and less shows, I mean, now he's down to 3 days a week, 3 hours a day. There's so much less content than what there ever was before. So it's just become a little bit, weird to have everything about Howard on there. So at this point where, politics became such a huge portion of what we do, and people just come and love to chat with faceless strangers that they don't have to be held accountable to.
Oh yeah, I used to be addicted to those message board forums. Now the reason why I contacted you next is, man, because Howard came back on my mind recently. I read the article about Scott Salem, Scott the engineer, his GoFundMe. Yeah. You know that story. Yeah. That broke my heart.
We actually broke that story. And
really?
It was a really interesting time period because I had I had heard that, for any of you who don't really know what the story is, basically Scott Salem, who was a lifelong employee of the Stern Show, he was the producer, if you will, of all the audio content, and that was his lifetime job. And he had been with Howard over 35 years or so, as many of the people with the Stern staff were. And unfortunately, his wife, Robin, had cancer, and which was kind of unbeknownst to everybody out there, but he had put up a GoFundMe, and I started getting some texts and emails from former and current employees saying, I can't believe that Howard hasn't made mention of this on air. How come he's not talking about it? If all you need is one word from a Howard to have that GoFundMe reach its goal immediately. And I think it was more for the aftercare of Robin, when she got home from the hospital and her rehabilitation and things like that. And we all contributed, and we all put it up there. And you saw that like Benji contributed, and some of the other miscellaneous people, but nothing from Howard. And the big story at the time was that, Artie apparently had given money and then asked for it back. And which we thought was a really messed up thing to do.
Well, why did he do that? Do you know?
You know what? I don't really know. I had Artie on not too long after that, and he swore up and down to me that absolutely did not happen. But I do know better, and I know that it did. And and I guess that Artie just really needed the money. I mean, I guess being altruistic wasn't really going to be in the cards for an Artie Lang. And so, so then only to find out that, Howard didn't want it mentioned on the air, and nor did he give anything to the GoFundMe or to Scott. And it's really a sad state of affairs when a man makes $90 million a year, that he can't treat an employee, a lifelong employee.
Scott was around doing Rocket Entertainment, okay, where he would work for Howard Stern as the engineer, and then was a DJ on the weekends and at night, and doing weddings.
Yeah. And you know what? He actually produced. Howard's daughter Emily Stern is a student, like a rabbinical student of some sort, and she does all this music, like this Judaic kind of music and stuff like that. And but she, thought she was going to be a singer at some point, and did something called Zuza Zoo, which Scott produced and engineered for her. And and he did that for everybody. He did it for Stuttering John when, he knew that he was going to be going out there and auditioning for Jay Leno. I mean, Scott was the man for a very long time. And also, like everybody else on that show, was also very flawed and somebody that Howard could pick on and abuse without any repercussions. And, so he played that character as well.
So, but Artie's on hard times right now financially?
So I'm not really sure what's going on with Artie. He hasn't really been around. He did one interview with Nick DiPaolo not too long ago, and then he also did something where fans were kind of supporting him, and he did some kind of mini podcast with his agent. Details are hazy on this, but Artie has absolutely been out of the picture for at least the last 6 to 7 months. Nobody knows where he's living. We do think that he's with his mom. And he's just been apparently keeping clean and quiet. So I'm not really sure what's going on with him, really. I remember hearing from his agent a long time ago when he was first going to, let's call it drug jail, where he was going to be doing these T-shirts to support Artie, because Artie was afraid that if he was in jail, he wasn't going to be able to support his mother. So don't know how that went down. I don't know how much, money Artie has, gone through over the course of, the many years since he's left the Stern Show. But, I would definitely say that Artie may be on some financial hard times, yes.
Is the show cursed? When you look at the the lives of so many of the people associated with the show, the mental illness, crazy cabbies in a wheelchair, I forget you just mentioned the guy. I forget his name, but the guy with the blood and the Bible. You know that story.
Who? What? Which blood Bible? What?
The guy you just mentioned him on your thing. I got to pull up your Twitter. You were just talking about him.